Hello students, welcome back to your computer science class. Last class we had stopped at this nested loops. Today we will continue from here. Okay. Okay. Today we will learn about tuple slicing, tuple concatenation, and tuple multiplication. Again, it works in the same fashion like it works in strings and lists. You saw joining tuples last class, and joining tuple is very simple. It's just like doing addition. You use the plus operator, which is the concatenation operator. I had shown you this last class. Sometimes we need to concatenate a tuple with another tuple which contains only one element. In that case, you must not forget to write the comma at the end of the integer. A single value in a parenthesis or round brackets is always treated as a value, as an integer value, and not as a tuple. Okay, so it is very important to put a comma after the integer so that it is considered as a tuple. Tuple slicing is just like we've done string slicing or we have done list slicing. Basically, they are subparts of the tuple that are extracted out. We can use the indexes of the tuple elements to create the tuple slices. Over here on your screens, there is a tuple, tuple 1, and then we are printing tuples from 2 to 6. That means it will not include index number 6. It will include number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's just run it. Just see the first output over here. Only 4 have come. Index number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. You can see tuple number 2, 3, 4, and 5 has come. Sorry, 0, 1, 2. So to start from here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tuple number 6, index value 6 has not come. Okay. Index on the last limit is not included in the tuple slice. The tuple slice is a tuple in itself, and we can perform any operations we want on this. Tuple operators, when used with tuple, that is the plus operator, requires that both the operands are tuples. Okay, even the multiplication operator, it requires one operand to be integer and one operand to be a tuple. If the resulting index is out of the range, then we get an index error exception. Slices, they are treated like boundaries, and the result is simply containing all the elements that fall between the boundaries. We can also mention the start, stop, and we can also mention a jump. Okay. So slicing is a way to extract non-consecutive elements from a tuple. Now let's talk about concatenation and multiplication. Python allows us to join or concatenate two tuples using the plus operator. So over here, I have two tuples x and y, and I'm joining it in another tuple called z by using my plus operator. See, I got from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all of it. Okay. Now, over here, I am slicing and concatenating. I want you to understand the difference between these two. Now, in the first one over here, I am using a slice operator to slice my tuple, and I'm using a plus, which is a concatenation. Now, remember, with a plus operator, both the operands have to be a tuple. Because we are using slice of a tuple, which is a sub tuple itself, it will work. And this became a tuple because we have separated two integers with a comma. But in the next one over here I'm using a slice, but over here this will be only one value. Tuple 0 will be 10, and 10 uh, will be identified as an integer. So my first one will work. Second one will give me an error because I cannot add an integer to a tuple. Okay, let's see it. Concatenating with slicing, tuple 1 is not defined. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, now let's run it. Can only concatenate tuple with a tuple. You cannot add integer to a tuple. This was the error, and we got this in the second statement. The first statement we have been able to print. 1, 2, 3 was 20 and 30. 0, 1, 2, 3. So 2 and 3 have been printed. Sorry, 1 and 2 have been printed, and then 100 and 110. So it looks like one tuple over here, but we could not print the second one. Okay. Now, so you must remember we can only add a tuple to a tuple. Now let's look at tuple multiplication. Tuple multiplication will only work when one operand is a tuple and the second operand has to be an integer compulsory. So over here the number 2 is an integer and x is a tuple. Let's see this one. Here you can see it has been printed twice, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So the asterisk operator is used to multiply the tuple slice and it does not multiply the entire tuple. We can also use it to multiply a tuple slice, not only the entire tuple. Now let's look at membership operators in and not in over here. The in operator, it checks whether a given element is contained in the tuple or not. It will return true if the element is present in the tuple, otherwise it will return false. So I have this huge tuple over here and another huge tuple, two tuples I have, and then I am writing print 10 in tup. That means I'm asking them to print. What will they print? The answer to this will be either true or false. 10 in tup will be true. 10 not in tup will be false. Okay. The not in operator will return true if that element does not appear in the tuple. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay. Let's run this part and see. The first one is true, second one is false. Okay. Now, looking at tuple functions. Let's look at the tuple functions. The first function that we will learn about is length. We have done this in the past also. This function, it returns the length of the tuple. That is, count the total elements in the tuple. There are these methods are very similar, these functions, these tuple functions are very similar to the ones in string and list, but there are some functions of the list that you cannot use with a tuple, like append, extend, remove, insert, and pop. These operations, all these operations, they require modification on a tuple, and so since the modification is not permitted because a tuple is immutable, that's why we cannot use the functions like extend, append, remove, or pop. Okay, but there are many inbuilt methods that we use with tuple, and the first one is length. Okay, so over here I am printing the length of the tuple by using the variable L to capture the length of the tuple. Next is the count function. This function is used to count the number of occurrences of an item in a tuple. So it will count how many times 10 appears in the tuple tup over here. Okay. The number of occurrences of 10 in the tuple is 3. Okay. Any. Next is any. This function will return true if the tuple has at least one item. This function is used to check if the tuple is empty or not. It will return, if the tuple is empty, then this function will return the answer as false. Otherwise, it will answer true. Over here, it is answering true. Next is minimum and maximum. To use minimum and maximum functions, all the values in the tuple must be of the same data type. Okay, now maximum function will return the element with the maximum value from the tuple, and minimum function will return the element with the minimum value of the tuple. But remember, very important, all the values in the tuple must be of the same data type. You cannot have a mixed tuple where there is an integer and string and then use max and minimum. To use maximum and minimum, either you have all strings, you have all floats, or you have all integers. So we have these two over here. We have tuple and we have string tuple. And I'm using maximum minimum on both. Now, when we will use them on, okay, whenever we will use the minimum and maximum with tuples containing string values, okay, the string, that is the words, the alphabets, this A, K, all these alphabets, they will be converted into ASCII values, and then they will be compared, and the highest value will be returned or the least value is returned. So maximum and minimum will check for the characters in a string on the basis of their ASCII values. If there are two strings in a tuple, then the first different character in the string is checked. If there are two strings with the same alphabet which starts, let's say there is cherry and custard over here, then H and U will be compared. First, they are going to compare A, K, B, P, S, C, C. And if one of them has a higher ASCII value, that will be printed. Over here, we have strawberry. Now let's put something else over here. For example, I'm just putting a completely different, I'm putting a violin over here. Okay. And then we are going to run this and check. I have violin over here now. Okay. So, and suppose I also put a vase, or vase will have lower, actually, A will be less than I. Something more than I, or I can go for something with S. Super. The reason I took super is because S and S will match. S is the highest right now because I've removed violin. And T and U, over here, U will win. So I think I should be able to see super over there. Super. Okay. So this is how max and minimum work with a string. So in string, maximum and minimum function, they check for characters on the basis of their ASCII values. When two ASCII values are the same, it will check the ASCII value of the next character. Okay. Now, the next inbuilt function is sorted. Sorted is used to sort the elements of a tuple, and it will return a list. Remember, very important, it will return a list. So over here, I'm using a variable b, which I'm saying b equals to sorted tuple. So this tuple will get sorted and will be put into b, and the data type will be a list. Over here, can you see this list? It is sorted from 10 to 90. Okay. Next is the index function over here. Over here, index function will find the first index of a given item and it will return the index. So if I say 10, for example, now my tuple is over here. 10 is on the 0 value over here. So I should get 0. But then I'm saying 20. So 20 is on the first index number. So I get 1. Now look at this. This is different. Even in index function, this is different. Here we have start and end, which are two optional parameters. Start and end means basically find the value 10 starting from the third index up till the 12th index. That means do not bother if the number 10 is in index number 0, 1 or 2. We only bother from 3 to 12. And so when I forced it to overlook 0, okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So from here it is going to check up till 12. It found the first occurrence over here on the number 9. And so I got the answer 9 over here. Okay. All right. So this is where I'm going to end the class today. You're going to go through all these functions. They're there in your textbook. Please go through them. They are very important. With this, children, I end today's class. Stay home, stay safe, take care. There are more functions in your textbooks, page 432. Look at that table very well. With this, children, I end today's class. Stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning. Thank you.